support. I've also read that the World Bank has warned Trinidad, as you mentioned, about spending. Once you have the prosperity coming with oil, that Trinidad is likely to fall into the same trap they fell into the last time once they had the abundance of oil and the money coming in from oil. Does CARICOM have enough clout to keep these things in balance so that we don't get out of control?
I think that the government, successive governments in Trinidad have managed well in that most countries that have this abundance of energy revenue usually become very profligate. But I think that the Trinidad government has managed well. Their macroeconomic fundamentals are good, and they have used the oil revenue to develop a downstream set of industries which are now based on natural gas and will be good. So I think Trinidad has managed well. I think the Caribbean countries have also done well, bearing in mind how open and how vulnerable they are to external events, that they have managed well with in some cases very limited, a limited size of resources and a limited range of resources, have done remarkably. If you look at the per capita income levels in the region, they were mainly middle-income developing countries, and therefore that must be indicative in the absence of abundance of resources, good management.
Well, I think that's a perfect point on which to end. You've summed up. I was going to ask you to sum up what you think the Caribbean has been able to do and where they're going. And I suppose the road looks fairly promising for the Caribbean.
I think that the Caribbean has the fundamental ingredient to succeed in the global economy, no matter what the state of the global economy, and that is quality of human resources. The region has produced all the skills that it needs to be developed countries in this global economy. They are outside the region, but in today's modern telecommunications, internet, etc., we should not be thinking of a population that's only resident in a region. We shouldn't be thinking of a region's economy as a physical location. If you think of, say, Jamaica with 2.8 population, and then you think of Jamaica as a network of Jamaicans carrying out economic transactions, remittances, investment, travel, you begin to see Jamaica as an economy approaching 6 million. That's not so small. Then you also realize that the higher income part of the Jamaican nation is overseas. So our per capita income would not be $3,300 US dollars. It would be probably $10,000. And if you do that for each country, begin to say that the region is not small. And also, if you enumerate our resources by looking at what our nationals own, whether they be in the region or outside, just think of the value of the real estate investment that Caribbean people own in this country. Just think of the skills that you can enumerate among Caribbean people globally. And once you start to think that way, that's how you have to think in a global. And once you think that way, the Caribbean has a bright future, potentially.
Potentially.
It has to be realized. You have to seize it, you have to see the potential, and you have to exercise the policy to realize it and bring it to fruition. But the potential is there.
Well, hopefully the new effort that is being recognized in most of the governments to involve the diaspora will help to bring that to realization. One last note, and I spring this on you. You're now the executive director of the Inter-American Development Bank, having left the regional negotiation machinery in the Caribbean. The regional negotiating machinery is now dealing with things like the EPA, etc. Is that part of the Caribbean sound?
For the Caribbean economies to further their development, they have to undergo what I call strategic global repositioning. That entails some internal reforms, but it also means repositioning yourself in the global economy. An integral part of repositioning is to complete the negotiations for trade agreements because they set the terms and conditions of international interaction. So external trade negotiations is critical to repositioning our economies. So the external negotiations for trade agreements is an integral part of the future of the Caribbean.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure getting an update from you as always. And thank you for watching Carib Nation today. I hope you've learned a little bit more. I've got some understanding of the economic crisis around the world and what that means for the Caribbean. Until next time, I'm Doris Dean.